Hey guys, it's Rebecca Oberstadt. Today I'm going to be doing comparison swatches between the Taurus, the other three, the first three mini Zodiac palettes, and the two big palettes as well. I will only be swatching shades that I find that are similar or that look similar, and hopefully you guys like this comparison swatch video. I know I've had requests to do these, which is why I do them. And you know, I'm also curious myself to see what shades in here might be found in some of the other palettes, especially with this one having quite a bit of green in it. The Pisces palette is quite, you know, green, but I've looked at some of these, and out of all of the palettes, the Taurus, the Gemini, and the Aries palette, I think this one was the only one that I was able to actually look at some of the shades and just eyeball it and see some that were very similar. The Aries palette, I think if you combined a couple of shades, that there was maybe 3 shades that were similar, and they both, you know, all the shades came out of the Love Signs palette. So I'm not going to talk during the swatches of the Taurus one, but when I get into the swatches of the other ones, I will be talking and telling you what shades I'm pulling and that kind of information. I will be using my Always Off makeup cloth in order to remove swatches off my hands in between, you know, swatching, so that way there is no cross-contamination of colors. All right, so now I'm going to get into the Pisces palette, and in here there's really like maybe 1 shade, maybe 2. This second shade here has like a green shift to it. I'm going to grab this one here as well, and I'm going to swatch them here. Yeah, neither of those match. I'm going to pull this one. This is more orange, whereas this one's more gold. And I'll grab the browns as well. Pinky swatches are not always the best, especially when your pinky's the size of mine. Let me go ahead and grab this darker brown here too. This one is similar to this shade, but this shade definitely has more red in it. So this one's more orange, whereas that one's more gold, and none of the other shades match. Now this one is mainly a brown palette. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one and this one. Okay, hello. Oh, that's probably why. It was the wrong finger. Duh. This one's very close to this one. So this shade right here is very close to the other shade. So that was one match that I found that matched the Taurus palette. And I will swatch the center shade in just a second. The center shade might be a little bit too light. Actually, it's like more of a champagne color than anywhere near close to any of those shades. So this is the only shade so far that I have found that is similar to anything in the Taurus palette, and that was the Capricorn Mini Zodiac palette. The Aquarius palette, I don't think I'm going to have any. I mean, this is too blue. Yeah, it's too blue. I was thinking that this one or the other one would be similar to this a gunmetal color, and that's too navy. So that one really doesn't match anything in that palette. And then what I'll be doing is I will grab the original Zodiac palette first and then the Love Signs one last. So out of this one, I was concerned that there might be a few shades. Like the Aquarius shade looks close, but then you swatch it and it shifts to like a gold and a green. So this shade really isn't as close as I was thinking for those two shades. Then you have this, the Sagittarius matte shade, which is too red to compare it to this one. The other shade is much closer of a match. And I'm going to grab the Gemini shade. It's a little bit silver, but I'm going to go ahead and grab Capricorn and then Gemini again. And I'm going to mix those two on my arm to see if I can make that shade. It's kind of close. This definitely looks like it has more green in it than mixing the Capricorn and the Gemini shade. I really didn't see any more shades in here that look like they would be anywhere near close to the Taurus palette. So let's move on to the Love Signs. This one here had a couple of shades that I thought might work because it has these gold shades in it. So we have this Cancer shade here, and it's a little bit too much of an orangey gold. It's close to this, but this has more yellow, whereas this has more orange. So I'm going to grab the Cancer shade and the center shade, and let's mix those two to see if I can get something close. And I am sticking within the actual palettes themselves just in case people only own like one palette or another. See, and mixing the center shade with the Cancer shade made this look more orange than it does in the Taurus palette. And I will just pick up that center shade again and swatch it. And it looks more peach on my skin, so it's too dark for either of those as well. Now the browns in this palette do have more of a red base to them because this is more of a warm tone palette. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Gemini matte, the Taurus matte, and the Pisces matte. I'll put them up here. Oh, that's definitely too red. That one didn't pick up very well. My finger's a little too fat. It's close to this, but it's definitely not a match. And that one has way too much of a mustard undertone to be anywhere near close. And I think I'm going to try one more mixing here in just a second to see if I can get that like gunmetal shade. Alright, the last mix that I want to try is I'm going to mix the Pisces and the Aquarius shade together. And let's see if we can get that like gunmetal shade. Okay, that looks more black. Let me grab a little of the center shade and add some of that in. That definitely lightened it. It's close, but this definitely has more green in it. So all in all, even after like swatching all of the shades that I thought would be similar, I've only found that one shade that would be anywhere near close to a dupe for the Taurus palette. I will try and take some video outside as well as some pictures so that you guys can see these in natural lighting so that you can make your own decision on them as well. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think of the the dupe, I guess, video that I'm doing, because I am comparing it to some of the other palettes that I own in my collection to see if they are similar. I like to see if there's something that can be used, or like if you own only one palette, can you mix shades to get something similar, that kind of thing. As of right now, there's the one shade out of the Taurus palette that could be matched, but again, it's matched to another mini palette. And then with the Aries palette, there was like I said, 3 shades that you could either mix or that were similar enough that you could get away with only owning the one palette versus the Aries palette. But again, nothing that is like spot on duplicate shades. So I'm pleasantly surprised that out of all of the palettes that I own, that these are not the same shades in every palette. They are all different so far that I've found. So I'm Rebecca Oberstadt. Hopefully you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in another video very soon.